Yeah, there's still more people coming in. So we'll get going. We'll make a start right now because I know everyone's time is precious. So hello and welcome to our webinar today. Thank you all for joining as we take you on a journey with Ricky and the team at ARC as they build out their MIS system with printIQ. Introduction to Ricky. Ricky Snell, obviously he's been very close to this build. He's done the majority of the build, and he'll do an intro to himself a little bit later on. But Ricky, thank you very much for joining us today. It's very much appreciated.
No problem at all.
Brilliant. Thank you, mate. So this webinar will start a series of webinars for us at printIQ as we go on various different customers' journeys. Now, that may be the full system or it may be just products that they're using, but it's going to be really important, these webinars moving forward. We will also be organising our first UK user group where all our users can be very open, talk openly, pros and the cons, as we join you from printIQ to show you further developments that we're doing. So that's going to be really important moving forward. So as we've got new customers on here today, or future customers and existing customers, we're going to do intros to myself and to Ricky and to both printIQ and to ARC UK before we get right into the nitty gritty. So first of all, bear with me. The slideshow, typical, doesn't work correctly. Let me just grab that. Can everyone see that moving? If you could just raise the hand.
Yep.
Yep. Do you see it, Rick?
I can see it moving.
Yep. Chris says, yeah, it works perfectly. So we're back on track, which is great. So just a couple of things. There is a question. I know everyone's actually put a Q&A, a question into when they signed up to join the webinar. So by all means, if you want to ask further questions, we will try and answer them towards the end of the webinar. We've got a few questions we are going to go through, which we felt were good questions as well. So please keep adding to that. And if we don't get to them today, we will get to them during the course of the week and come back to you for sure. Okay, so just a quick introduction to myself. Rob Thurston, UK Sales Manager at printIQ. I've been in this industry now for 36 years, so a long time, and I've covered many parts of it from the repro side for 17 years into color management, onto finishing, and now with printIQ, so back into software, which is great and a really good challenge for myself. So I've managed to cover all of those things, which gives me a really good insight when I'm talking to the customers and people like yourself, how we put IQ together. So Rick, do you want to just introduce yourself, please?
Well, I'm not as old as Rob, so I've not been in the industry as long as Rob, but you know, I've done 26 years in the industry, all the way from a foot messenger all the way up to head of operations of ARC UK. So that's pretty much my background, from construction print all the way into large format graphics. Yeah, that's me, Rob.
Yeah, good man. Okay, great stuff. So an overview of printIQ, and then we'll go to an overview of ARC as well, so everyone knows what the two businesses are. So IQ, founded in 1999, it was very much a family-run business. The client base was built out from Australia and New Zealand. That's where Anthony Liu was based, in New Zealand, and that's where the first part of the business was built. We expanded into the US in 2017 and into the UK and Europe in 2020, where we really did have vertical liftoff when COVID hit, when everyone wanted to work from home. So we couldn't build systems fast enough at that point. Within IQ, we've got 56, I think that's actually raised now, staff based in 3 regions across 5 countries. In 2022, Anthony sold the business to Banyan, which is an American software company. And we were appointed a new CEO in 2023, John Alden, who is very much touching every part of the business at the moment. Some facts regarding printIQ. So we've got the regional operations, which consists of a sales team, support, and the professional services team. There's always a significant investment into R&D at IQ. So 30% of our IQ team is made up of development, which is really important to us because we're developing the product all the time. Over 300 clients worldwide. Again, that's raising at a rapid pace. We had 49 new clients come on board last year in 2023, which is a record year for us. And roughly the client base is built up 20% UK, 30% US, and 50% in Australia and New Zealand. But obviously, because those regions have been running longer than us, that's why. But we'll probably always be playing catch up from that point of view. So 5-year plan for us is to double in size since John come on board. And that's very much what we're working towards. Development side of things, so the research and development, as I say, is really important to us, and that's why we've got such key members of staff at IQ. So we don't outsource anything. Everything is done from a development point of view and the programming point of view, all in-house by the development team. There is various different ways that we do things with customers. So, you know, if there is something that does need to be developed, we are very key to listening to that customer. And then actually developing that specific feature which could actually help many people. So we have to go through that process, which is really important. And one of the other things now is we're expanding out from printIQ. We're going into the wide format, which we're going to talk to Ricky about today, packaging, labels. So it's not just the LIFO side or the small format side now of digital. We are covering all these parts, and that's why the development is so key. We've got new reporting tools, which Chris Packer's created and sending those out to customers with Charles for the reporting side. So we're tracking a lot of stuff a lot better now. And we're also starting to create client health checks as well. So someone who maybe done a build 2, 3, 4 years ago, there could be other ways to do that now. So we are reinvestigating that. So that would be news that we'll be bringing to customers quite soon. So that's an overview from the printIQ side. Rick, if I hand back to you now.
Yeah, so just to give you an overview of who ARC is. So we were formerly known as the Reprographics, American Reprographics Company, was our public trading name. We have over 200 print locations across the world. Our headquarters are based out in San Francisco. And again, we're using IQ for a range of services from on-site print management, from an MPS, from archival, from scanning, from construction documents, wide format. And again, we sell applications to support service more than 90,000 customers across the globe. So Rob, if you move on to the next slide, mate.
Also will.
Thank you. So currently we're operating on 170 service centers across North America. And then outside of that, there is obviously 30 locations globally. Obviously, we've got 3 in the UK and a few across Europe. Again, our revenues as a company in 2020 was reported at $290,000, and we're still around the same. And again, we've got over 2,500 employees. And again, we started as a members and public business, funny enough, same as IQ, with a 9 million standalone company back in the 1980s. And then obviously we've grown to the company we are today.
Brilliant, Rick. Thank you.
No worries, mate.
And obviously, just a bit of background there. Obviously, since I've been working with Ricky for the last 18 months, I think it is, Rick, we've seen a lot of the stuff, not only grow in the UK, but in Canada as well, and obviously talking to America. So it is a really big moving animal, isn't it?
Well, the idea, the overall goal is that, you know, that every single location moves over onto IQ. Obviously, we started with the UK, and then now currently we're actually implementing it into the Canadian region. And then from Canada, once we've got the dollars up and running, then we will go into the other part of the US states. So, no, it's awesome.
Brilliant. Okay, so this is obviously the part that everyone wanted to join and listen to. So let's get talking, Rick.
Yeah.
So how did your journey start? I mean, big decision, realistically, to move away from your existing MIS and then go to printIQ. Obviously, seeing the benefits now, but massive decision.
Yeah. So to be fair, the journey started as we started growing as a company, and the system that we had before, which was Fastens, didn't seem to grow with us, and we had to start looking at bringing in a newer system that could also cover a lot of our points. Now, that's not to say other systems can't do what IQ does, but it's the way that IQ does it that is the reason we went on started the journey with IQ. We did look at other platforms at the time. So basically, we needed a system that could be to grow with us. You know, numerous different ways of making efficiencies and benefits to ARC. So that's how our journey started, because we had a lot of pain. We couldn't see a lot of MIS information that we needed. It was hard to access reports. So we had a lot of pain points with the old system. So hence why we started the journey to look in bringing in a new system.
Understood. And how long were you running that system for?
We were running that current, also Thurston's, for around about 9 years before we made the switch.
Right. Okay. So it's quite a lot of pain that you obviously gone through. It's probably a lot of workarounds and stuff like that you had working with those guys.
Well, it seems that the longer time went on, the more bad data that was being inputted into the old system.
Yeah.
Which again, with an MIS system, if you put bad into it, you're going to get bad out of it. So again, we actually sort of got ourselves into a bit of a mess. We did approach the old vendor to sort of obviously look at rebuilding and starting afresh. But we found with that technology, it was too old for us. So hence, the journey started with IQ.
Brilliant. Yeah, we thank you for that as well. I mean, was your the system before, was that cloud-based or was that server-based?
It was server-based, so it was localized.
Localized.
Hence, again, another reason as we started opening up more locations, obviously people remoting into a server is not efficient, it's slow, it's painful. So again, we had to go to a true web-based system.
Brilliant. Okay. And obviously you chose to go to printIQ, which again was great. Did you evaluate any other systems out there?
We did look at a few other systems, EFI systems, but to be fair, you was actually recommended to us by one of our suppliers,
right? Okay.
Being Canon. Yep. So again, you know, once we engaged with you guys and you know what you showed us you could do, we had spoke to obviously the other company with the EFI platform, but there was too many loopholes for people to jump through. And they weren't prepared to work with us and grow with us. It was very much, here's a system out of the briefcase. If you can use it, use it. If you can't, tough. So again, the journey with IQ started, and again with the module-based system, gave us the ability to add what we need and not add what we don't need, and have a system that can actually grow with us.
Absolutely, yes. Very much a start small and grow. Whereas I think you guys actually started quite probably in a medium-sized system and grew to a huge system because you purchased quite a few modules from the start.
Yep, you got to love a module.
You got to love a module. So you created a workflow pretty much from the start for what you wanted to do. So I mean, we'll talk a bit further about full workflows a bit later. But do you want to just describe the workflow you created, Rick, right from your
to be fair, from the very start of it, obviously you guys come down, you studied our current workflow, our current systems that were in place. Now, again, we were very open to see how we could make efficiencies and make a better workflow that suited IQ, but also suited us. So again, them initial visits from you guys really help us understand our workflow, and not just that, the workflow that we wanted to go to. Now, we all do things in print differently from one company to another, but it was how can we suit our company and how can we move forward with the best workflow for us at that time. So, and again, that's even changed since we first implemented our workflow with IQ. Again, constantly tuning and making things better.
Brilliant. Okay, so sale was done. You were happy with what you purchased. You got your printIQ. You got your modules. Off you went. So it was getting started. It was the onboarding process. Realistically, we work very much as a train the trainer at printIQ. A lot of it is done via Zoom calls, or it is done via Zoom calls that we're doing the training. How did you find that process? Was that good for you, or was there anything you would like to change?
Now, two ways of looking at it. Obviously, we've all moved into a different world since COVID. We do so much more calls on Zoom or Teams and different platforms there. Now, I'm still quite old school. I do like someone to be on site when you're doing a build. That's my personal opinion. Now, everyone's different. And again, obviously, as Rob said, the trainer, the apprentice becomes the master. That's the way IQ works. So I had a brilliant support team from IQ with Anthony. Basically, I took the role on of being the main build lead in order to build the actual entire system from start to finish. But I did have a team around me where we did sort of itemize certain items, right? You deal with that side of it, you deal with dispatch, you deal with stock, you deal with pricing, you deal with presses. So we did do that, but we done that with an IQ, with a team leader of the build.
Yep.
So again, we always had that support. But again, when you say pros and cons, I prefer someone to be on site because I feel that, again, like I said earlier, we all do things differently. Our terminology may be different from a LIFO company to a small format company, vice versa. So I think having a team build on site for the initial, 3-4 days gives them an idea of what your company is about and the terminology that you guys use. I feel that does really speed up the process.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Because it's one of the things that Chris and Charles and I are looking at, obviously moving forward, and we've had this with a few different customers where we do go on site just for a couple of days. And obviously it can actually speed the build up as well as much as anything, but it also gets very much a visual for that build lead to see what is going on at that specific business. So that is something we are looking at as well as we move forward. But regarding the build side of things, for you, Ricky, did you find everything was, with the spreadsheets that you've got to fill in and stuff like that, everything was flowed nicely, everything was good? Project management was good?
At the end of the day, anything's tough if you don't know. So again, but IQ do hold your hand through that process. And that's not me saying that because they're on the call. End of the day, at the start it can be a little bit overwhelming. That's why I always suggest sort of share a bit of the workload. But again, data gathering is key, and obviously when you build a new MIS system, you want to make sure that your data is as clean as possible, and you are getting everything in that system. Again, I think it's too easy to go, oh, that'll be all right. It has to be perfect from the off, because at the end of the day, we're all relying on these MIS systems to run our businesses. So again, I think just putting a massive amount of effort behind the build, and then your build lead will put the same effort behind you as well. So again, it is a very collaborative effort.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, your build time, how long did it take for your team and our team to build out IQ for you to go into a live process, so to speak?
Live process. So if I remember rightly, we signed all the paperwork end of December. Obviously, we had the Christmas period to get out of the way. We probably could have launched sooner. But again, we want everything to be right, but it took us 6 months. Now, that's not to say everyone else's site's going to take 6 months, depending on what you're putting in it. But quite a substantial build. It was 6 months, but we probably could have launched slightly earlier.
Yeah. Okay. So for argument's sake, you could have maybe gone 5 months to keep things easy. But the testing stage, you continue slightly further just to make sure you were happy.
Well, we had to be careful because we had a current MIS system that our clients have been obviously being given prices from on a cost plus model. Now, our old MIS system, from a cost point of view, probably wasn't updated for a good 3-4 years. So we had to make sure that, we didn't turn a new system on overnight and then suddenly a product that would have been £100 now £1,000.
Yeah.
So we've done quite a lot of extensive testing to make sure that, the pricing we were getting, was correct, our costs were correct. So we just took a little bit of extra time on that, just to make sure that the transition over weren't a shock to our clients, because at the end of the day, we can't upset our clients.
Absolutely. Yeah. Customers is king, as they say. So we're built, we're up and running to a degree. We're not live yet. But talk us through how you created that workflow for you as a business realistically. So through IQ, so from the estimating side right the way through to the dispatch side, and how something would run through your business. I mean, are you using simplified quotes or custom quoting or both? And how does that work for you, Ricky?
So again, where we cover a wide range of services, from small format all the way through the large format, with scanning involved as well. Again, we use certain products. So for instance, small format, we use the quick quote products, which are very fast. But again, there's not much to it. We already know what's included in a perfect buy, and we already know what's included in a full system trim book. So we use mainly Simplified for those products. We also do a lot of scanning. So we have like a scan by bot price. So again, everything within IQ you can build as a product that you can just literally go in, 3 clicks, get out. So that's that part of the estimating. Then obviously we have custom products as well, which again, with large format, there's a lot more going on, depending on what you're doing with installations involved, different finishing, hem, eyeletting, stitching, CADA. There's a lot more involved, and they're a lot more complex. And again, we use custom quote for that to make sure we are capturing all of our costs. Because again, large format can have a lot of hidden costs that can bite you quite fast. Well, that's in our experience.
Yeah, exactly. But do you find custom quoting still quite quick, still quite fast, even though you're doing it?
To be fair, when we're talking speed from our old system, we're talking multiple touches. Whereas again, when we were Fastons, and I don't want to keep calling them out because I don't think that's right, but you know, we can quote a job probably 60 to 70% faster than what we could originally. So, which is a massive time saving. We've got our own, what we call a CST, which is the customer success team, so account managers. And again, we see a massive uplift in productivity in getting quotes out to our clients. And again, we don't want to leave our clients waiting for an estimate at the end of the day, because, if they can't get one from us, they're going to go to someone else. So again, having that estimate a very fast rate is crucial for us.
Yeah, it normally wins the day, definitely.
Yeah.
If you had to put your finger on something that was the hardest part of the build and maybe the most straightforward part of the build, what would you say for that, Ricky?
So I would say the hardest part of our build was the API connection into Sage.
Okay.
Obviously, there was a lot of unknowns, which again, if you are from any other company that's going to IQ, make sure you speak to them well in advance to find out how you can integrate into a accountancy system. I know IQ support things like Xero and stuff like that. So we found it very tough. Again, make sure that if you are working with IQ and you're using APIs, make sure that it's either direct or who the third party is. Again, there are kind of negatives that we didn't know at the start, which again we've learned. But again, once we've done that together, it was fixed going forward. But the most simple part of the build, I would say, is probably adding your presses. Adding presses is very simple. And again, setting up your quick quote products is very simple. And again, the printIQ team really help you with all of that all the way through.
Brilliant. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we've done a lot of work on the accountancy side with various different customers. So we're improving that all the time. As you say, Xero is very, very straightforward. The Sage side, we've done a lot of work on that. So that's all come from our current customer base, which is really good. So system is built. We're now ready to go live. You're happy with everything pretty much what's in there? Done your testing? How are you feeling? Nervous, positive?
Well, like anything in any business that, most of the people on this call will know, change is not always well received. So we had anyone with an opinion normally puts their hands up and shouts out quite loud. But to be fair, everyone knew that what was coming. One thing we did do is we had weekly team meetings with every single production staff in our company to make sure everyone was aware of what was going on. That we are changing to a new system. This is what's going to be happening, and you always get the 2 or 3 people that you knew were going to kick up a fuss anyway, no matter what you did. So again, they were dealt with, and again, they are probably the biggest. How can I put it? Probably the biggest supporters of the software now that it's in. They were the biggest doubters, but now anyone says anything within the team, I guarantee they're, I'll help you. I'll show you how to do that, and again, everyone's embraced the system in ARC, which was awesome. Hence why we're rolling out to Canada now. So yeah,
exactly, and hence why we've got a positive journey, even though we've had a few hiccups. It's a positive journey that we're talking about today. So no, that's absolutely fantastic. So I think again, one of the things people will be most one one of the things they really want to understand today is, as a business, where has ARC found its efficiencies and benefits? How's it improved you?
So if we go from the start, obviously from estimating, we're able to estimate more complex jobs faster. So again, that's a benefit for us. You know, we can actually see now of what our CRMs, or we want to call them account managers, we can actually see, you know, the performance of them individuals. We can see how many jobs they've booked in, to what value they've booked in, you know, because someone might book in £1,100 job, someone might book in, you know, £1,000 job. So again, we can start seeing the performance of our account managers. So that's mainly the efficiencies we see in the, obviously, estimating is speed. Then going into production, again, we can track things faster. We can see if a job's running slightly behind. You know, IQ's letting us know these things. We've also got the estimate versus actuals report.
Yeah.
So we can see what we've estimated a job and actually what did it cost us? You know, did we rerun it? Did it take too long on a certain machine? Yeah, on data capture.
Yeah.
So again, we do a lot of scanning. Again, scanning is time. So again, how do we quantify or price a job? How do we know? So again, with our system now, we can time every element of the journey. So now we can say, if we quoted, you know, a box is going to take us 5 hours scanning, how long did it take us? Did it take us 10? Did it take us 4? You know, you need to know that information, and you need to know it fast. So obviously IQ enabled us to information at your fingertips. So again, from production, we can take more jobs on. Again, we've cut down paper. Everything's trackable on capacity planners, Rob. That's obviously another module. But again, we can see where we've got capacity in the team. But the nice thing is our account handlers can see that. So again, if we've got a large job, they can actually go back to the client before it's even in production and say, well, do you know what? We're busy this week, but next week we can fit you in. So again, visibility is one of the hugest parts that's been the biggest benefit to us with using IQ.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. And do you think that has changed, or you probably know without talking commercials, which you don't really want to do, in this side of things, but bottom line, improved it?
Well, I won't go too much into commercials, but we are the best performing division within ARC.
Wow. Okay.
So and to be fair, there is a correlation with that, with the implementation of printIQ.
Brilliant. Okay, well, that completely understand. So yeah, thank you for that. Okay, that's brilliant. I mean, I think we're trying to obviously capture a journey that you've done probably over that 6-month period within sort of 30 to 40 minutes today. But I think we're just gradually getting that picture that, you know, it's a really positive journey for you. You've actually, the business is now benefited from massively, probably via reporting as well. The modules you're purchasing for the workflow, or purchase for the workflow. So overall, Ricky, obviously positive journey, well worth doing.
100% positive. At the end of the day, you know, what we didn't have in our old system was correct information, which is partly down to us, but you know, we've got correct information now. And what we didn't have was visibility. Now, if you can't see something, you can't deal with it. Now that we've got the visibility for the reporting modules from all our capacity planners, for all the all job boards, we can see everything that's happening within this business. And anything, you know, I don't think we employ people, so things will go wrong. You know, machinery don't always stay up. So again, it enables us to be reactive to any issues that arise. And again, you know, as I said, with IQ, as we've grown, we've purchased new machinery that, you know, not regularly available out in the market, and we work with IQ to bring in, again, faster and more efficient ways of quoting and processes. So, you know, it's a system that you can grow with.
Yeah, we certainly had to learn, or both of us had to learn when you bought your new Fuji, the beast that is outside there. So which is now settled in and working really well.
Yeah, lovely.
And all the quoting side is all built and done for that.
All done. Yeah, we've done some other stuff. There's some sort of special features that we can do on it. So again, that's all in the system. And that's the nicest thing. You can reach out to IQ, to Anthony or the team, whoever your build lead is, and, you know, always open for a meeting. There's always an open discussion. And again, we didn't have that before. You know, if I tried to talk to the old supplier, it'd be like, how much can I charge you? It was worse than speaking to a lawyer.
For their day rate, exactly. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Well, Ricky, thank you so much. Obviously, what we can do now, if it's all right with you, we can move to some of the questions. We've got questions coming in, and we had some obviously from the registration. So, well, I know we've probably got about 10 minutes to go. So, if we can do cover some of the questions between us, I think we can probably answer some of them. So we've got actually from two Toms, actually Tom at Stewart Signs and Tom at Waddington Leisure. Both are interested in end-to-end workflow and how the estimate production goes through to the invoicing side. So I suppose there's a few different ways to look at that. And I'll obviously open up to yourself, Ricky.
Yeah.
Is probably bringing in third-party software as much as just printIQ.
Again, we use our full workflow via IQ. We're not using any third-party software through our system at the moment. So again, you know, from our point of view, we raise an estimate, then obviously that goes out to the client, and then the client actually accepts that estimate. It goes out in a link format, so you know you can have legally terms and all that sort of stuff in there. They accept it. That comes through to our team. Then it also gives them the ability to upload their own artwork. That's the clients that can upload their own artwork. Or as some of our clients do, they like to send it via WeTransfer or other transferring tools. Or we do have DSF, a digital storefront that does go into the system as well. So we have multiple workflows from an estimating point of view. But once that order comes in IQ, everything starts as an estimate. It gets accepted, artwork's in, and then literally that will then get passed down into production. And that can be automated depending on what client that is as well. We've got, as I said, multiple workflows that goes into our production. And again, everything is timed. So we know when a job is started, when they've started ripping the job, then it obviously goes into the production and the print. Then it will obviously go into finishing. And then once that's all done, it goes through the QC procedure, which then is all tracked via printIQ. We use scanners. So as the job bag goes through the building, we scan all of it. Again, that's starting and stopping an operation as well. Then it obviously goes into our dispatch, gets uploaded, sends out, and then we also have a module called sign off. So when our drivers go deliver it, they can actually take a picture there and then, like an Amazon driver. We've left it here, or take a picture of the person if you want, if you're allowed. You get in there and get it signed. That automatically updates it onto the system. So if a client rings up and says to one of our CST members, can you confirm if my job's been delivered? They literally go into the job. They can see the delivery note. So closed loop. And then again, as I said, we've got multiple workflows that integrate in with IQ. And sorry, Rob, when you said third party, obviously we've got DSF.
Yeah,
that is going to be feeding in digital storefront, and obviously we're starting our journey with the link tool. Again, working with other printers and commercial companies, obviously to help out in different areas of the business.
Yeah, fantastic. Just to explain.
Sorry if I've got a dodgy accent and I talk really fast, but yeah.
Oh, that's all right. That's absolutely fine. So yeah, added to that. So Tom and Tom, obviously you could be using something like mFocus Switch, which is a pre-flighting tool. It's a workflow, very, very strong workflow tool. So if you wanted files to be pre-flighted that are coming into IQ, you could do that automatically and send that on again to the RIP if you wanted to. Obviously we are connecting with CRM systems like Soho or HubSpot, which again is HubSpot, I think is what you use, Ricky.
And then we're a very big user of HubSpot.
Yeah, and then obviously into the accounting side. So you are closing that loop, as you rightly say, from start to finish of workflows. But we can talk you through that if you want us to. We've had a question from Kevin at Positive. General overview and to see if you're using Infigo. So you're not using Infigo, Rick?
No, we're not using Infigo. The only reason we haven't is because we are one of the biggest users of it's not EFI no more, is it? A DSF. We're one of the biggest users in the world of that platform as ARC, so we have to stick down on that route. So we don't use Infigo. But I do know Infigo does work on the system because we did explore it. But from a cost point of view, there's no point of us moving over to Infigo.
Absolutely. But just to answer that, obviously, Kevin, we obviously partner with Infigo. We've got a very good relationship and a very strong integration with those guys. So, yeah, we can take you through that as well. Andy at Orphans, how do you manage production deadlines, Ricky, from start to finish?
Production deadlines, when the job is booked in, there is a due date and a request date. So again, that goes up onto a live board. And again, IQ is clever enough to know if the job's got enough time to be done in the period that is set. So again, if you're running out of time, if your job's going to take 5 hours to print, you're not going to deliver it within an hour. So again, the way the timelines work, we can watch the boards, and then we can obviously push jobs up the system if they need to be done quicker. So again, that's all done on the capacity planner and the all jobs board.
Brilliant. Okay. And Rob from Optichrome has asked a question, maybe linking to this realistically with reporting and analytics. Are you reporting on that sort of thing as well, Rick? Or is that being pulled through?
We are reporting on a lot of areas of the business. So we report on, say, for instance, in scanning, what departments are profitable, what areas of our work is it coming from, what sectors is it coming from. Now, reports is huge. And I love my reports, a bit sad, really. But again, IQ will be able to show you, but my reports are absolutely amazing. You can automate them to be sent out to people as well. But we are collecting all kinds of data in order for us to make better decisions as a company.
Brilliant. And are they being looked at by just yourself, Ricky, or is it something that whole business
No. So that the whole business is looking at. We automate reports and send them out to the US. Obviously, we've got reports for the management team. And then in ARC, 10 o'clock every day, we have a teams meeting between our sales teams, our CRMs, and our production staff to go through, what the month's looking like, what jobs have not been billed, where are we going to be busy, have we got any pinch points this week? So again, IQ enables us to do that, but also that enables us to do it cross multiple sites. So on the call, we have multiple sites on that call because again, everything's going into one system. So we can see absolutely everything. We can see if one of our offices in the West Country is struggling, we've got all that information.
At your fingertips.
Our fingertips, and we love it. They don't like me having it because it gives me a reason to moan at them all the time. But again, we have that kind of information, which we never had before.
You never had that before. So that's another benefit, realistic, that's helping you run your business more efficiently. Yeah, fantastic.
And again, even when we go back into corporate, I've made even our corporate side of the business think, because again, the information that we have compared to a lot of our other branches across the US is huge. Like it's a massive difference.
Yeah,
we can be so much more mobile and make better decisions so much easier.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, from the Canadian side, that obviously have just bought into IQ realistically as well, I'm looking to move forward. Are you working closely with them, Rick, or are they taking you've obviously done a lot of work with them to help them?
So we've already spoke together a lot. Obviously, I've probably done more demos to them than anyone else really. But again, them guys were using a different system. I can't remember the system that they were using. But they see the benefits and they couldn't believe on what we could do on our system. They got very jealous of what we were doing, so they put in their request for IQ themselves. It took them a long time to get it signed off, but again, they've all just signed the journey. And then what's nice, again, we can share a lot of our information to make the build better as well. So there's a lot of operations you can nick from each other. And again, now there's two different businesses in two different sort of countries now. We can also share data as well, which is lovely.
Which is brilliant stuff. Okay, got time for a couple more questions. Rupert at VGL, what particular areas of implementation were most problematic? Obviously, we discussed Sage.
I would say Sage was the most problematic. Again, staff, staff are always challenging. But again, get the buy-in. You need to get the buy-in. Again, a lot of my members were always saying, "Oh, we don't need a system. This is how I used to do it in the old system," but that weren't correct. And again, staff are challenging. I'd probably say Sage and staff are your biggest challenge, because other than that, you're in control of the build and the workflow that you're implementing. So, but I think once you get everyone's buy-in and they see the power of it, a lot of mine, they also said 2 individual staff were a nightmare, but again, they're like the champions of IQ within our company now, because it realised how much easier it's made their lives. And again, You know, when we talk about a true mobile platform, you know, I'm sitting on the train doing quotes if I need to on an iPad. You know, I'm completely mobile now. I don't need to be stuck at a desk on a PC. I can access it from my phone, from my iPad, and again, it's so easy. Which again gave a lot of my staff the ability to be mobile as well.
Brilliant. Yeah, that's great. It's fantastic to hear. I mean, we've got one from Rachel, which I'm going to actually take you through here because I've got some slides for it. Rachel at Just Digital, onboarding. So this is the way we try and do things, and we're trying to improve this all the time. So we're actually creating new slides for this at the moment. So the IQ team working with you. So realistically, once that sale's done and you're starting to go into the project management side, we have a kickoff meeting, and that meeting will be with Chris Pack, who's our general manager, Charles, who's our project manager, who will be working with you all the time. You've got a UK build team lead that is assigned to you. Sometimes we actually assign 2 people, depending on what's involved. And then you've got myself there as a sales team. Now, I do drop off a little bit, admittedly, because I'm sort of pushed to the back once the sale's done. But I'm still jumping up and down because we've got you on board. And then the part that we really require from you as a team, as Ricky mentioned earlier, we need to have what we call super users. That could be 1 super user, it could be 2 within the business, people who track this build right from start to finish and stay with it. It's no good actually starting a build and then 3-4 months into it, you put new people in because they just won't know what to do. And then you've got other people within the team that could be someone from accounts. It's always good to have people in from accounts that just come in at certain times. It's really important to keep those guys happy. And then someone maybe from production or from the print side to come in and just help with those the building of the actual presses and stuff like that, so they understand and they're becoming part of the journey as well and buying into IQ. And then from that part, Charles and the build lead would start to pick out various different meetings. So it's how we implement IQ into your business. And this is very much what Ricky would have gone through with his build. So your team, Ricky's team, as it would have been, and our IQ team. And we start to plan out various different meetings, right the way from gathering data through to cost strategy. Can we improve things for you regarding costing? Are we doing everything right? Building out presses. We start to talk about freight and the dispatch side of things and how that works. So there's a whole lot of meetings that go in, and we start to build everything out with an IQ to go into a testing stage, right the way into a go live stage. And we don't leave you then. We're still with you all that time, whatever you need to be. That could be 2, 4, 6, 8 weeks before we have a wrap up and we start to move you to what we call desk, which is our help desk ticketing. So the actual build itself, it can go on for 2, 4, 6, 8 months, whatever it may be, but we don't ever leave you. And those meetings are there to stay and to be changed if you need to. But it's really important that obviously we stick to that roadmap of building. But I can take you through that at another stage, no problem at all, if you want me to. So I think, Rick, we're pretty much done. I feel like we've done part 1 of this series. Maybe we have to do a part 2 and dive even deeper into your system and the knowledge you've got of it. But I think I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Do you want to leave us with one big positive that you've got out of this whole project?
Oh, the big positive is visibility. You know, like anyone for any system, we need to see, and if we can see, we can action. So, you know, visibility and efficiency are the 2 main key points. But as I said, visibility is key for me. And again, it enables me to see everything. And if you can see everything, you can deal with everything. So that would be my last little sort of nugget for you, Rob.
Brilliant. Well, Ricky, I thank you for joining us today, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I hope you have as well. Thank you for your time, obviously putting this together. People who have put Q&A questions in, we will be answering those. I can't do any more today, but we will be answering, and we will come back to you within the next 24 to 48 hours. And obviously, we can book demos, we can book meetings, whatever it needs to be, and we can go from there. So thank you, everybody, for joining us today, and I'll speak to you all very soon. Thank you, Ricky.
Thank you all. Cheers. Bye.